You do not need to be a hairstylist to own a successful salon. In just a few years, she built something that is not only profitable, but also scalable.
If your two hands are required to run the front end of your business, you will never be able to scale. Build your next leaders along the way so when you need them, they are ready.
Welcome to the Gipson Show.
Hey you guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's conversation is a really good one because I'm sitting down with someone who is living proof that you do not need to be a hairstylist to own a successful salon. She is the owner of Princess Hair Pizzazz, a kids salon with multiple locations right here in Metro Atlanta. And in just a few years, she built something that is not only profitable, but also scalable. We're going to talk about how she got started, how she grew it, what role she played in the beginning, and how she was able to build a business that doesn't depend on her doing hair. So if you've ever thought about opening a salon but felt like you just didn't have the experience needed, this is definitely a conversation you want to stay for. Let's get into it. Help me welcome Juanda Roberts. Woo, 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 woo. Hey girl.
Hey girl.
How are you feeling today?
I feel excellent. Thanks for having me at Silk and Blow.
We are so appreciative that you are here. I want to say thank you for taking out time on your busy schedule
Of course.
to be here.
Anything for you.
So let the people know about you.
Yes, Juanda Roberts, actually from Atlanta, born and raised, which is very rare because this is the melting pot. So usually people are from all over. Graduated from Spelman College with a computer science degree. Have two girls, Journey and Faith, and a husband. And those are my favorite titles out of all my other titles. Wife and mom.
Yeah, those are the ones that mean the most.
Yes, and daughter.
And daughter.
Yes.
All right, so I want to get into the business, if you are okay with that, because you have a lot of knowledge and a lot of information that's good for all of those that's listening, right? I have a question for you. We can just start about your business. What made you start Princess Hair Pizzazz?
Yes. So, like I said, I have two daughters, Journey, 10, and Faith, 6. So, actually, my oldest daughter, Journey, is why I started the salon. Fighting with her to do her hair. And by the time I would take it down and wash it, we would both need a break. So, once we take a break and come back together to do a new style, I'm like, this has taken all day. I need to pay someone to do this. Now, we all know the conversations that happen in adult salons and barbershops, so I didn't want to expose her to that. So I was like, I wonder if there's any kids hair salons, and I really didn't know. I just wondered. So I looked and I found one, and I was there every 2 weeks, and I never missed my 2-week appointment because I did not want to go back to the hair drama I used to have with her. And when I would be there every 2 weeks, I would look around and it would be the same people there every 2 weeks. So they also didn't want to go back to their hair drama. So I thought this is really a good business and I can do it even better than them. And voila, Princess Hair Pizzazz was born.
So at any point, were you and your husband going to open up a different type of business?
Yes, me and my husband are both always just had entrepreneurial type of ambitions. He owns a real estate company of single family homes. He has about 30 properties. We both worked in corporate America. Him as a engineer, electrical engineer, me computer science and project management. But we always knew we wanted to have our own. So we had a lot of different ideals. I think we actually had it narrowed down to HBCU apparel because now you see it more, but back in the day, everybody would get all their gear when they would come for homecoming because it really wasn't anywhere to get it from. So we thought about that and the kids salon. We kind of shied away from the HBCU ideal because of warehousing and inventory and all the things that come with that. So we really just thought through which one do we think we have the biggest shot at being successful? And it was the kids hair. It's a unsaturated market, and so that's what we went for.
I think you made an excellent decision. You
Thank
and
you.
your husband.
I agree.
So I
Thank you.
did not bring that up earlier. So you and him are partners in the business?
Yes, absolutely. We are partners. Even though I am more the face of the brand and I am the CEO, like I said, we have another business, Atlanta Homes for Rent. So he is the CEO for that. So he basically runs that business. I run this one for the most part, but he is the CFO for our business and handles anything maintenance wise. We have people that help out with that, but he's like the go-to person. So even though he's like narrow focused CFO, like that's a very big role, and he is the most amazing CFO in the world, even though he gets on my nerve with it, because he would know, child, if 10 cents is missing, okay? But that's the right kind of person,
You need
right?
somebody like
That's the
that,
right kind of
right?
person. We balance each other very well. You know, I am more of a risk taker than he is, but he's also a risk taker. Sometimes it's like, no, I go a lot on my gut, and he's like, no, forget the gut. So we balance each other, right? And so sometimes when it's a gut feel and I'm like, babe, I'm telling you, this is what we need to do, you know, we'll go with what I'm thinking. And sometimes when it's like the numbers don't lie, we have to go with, you know, what he says. So we do a really good job at balancing and playing to our strengths.
I think that's wonderful. And I think that's a blessing.
It is a
because,
blessing.
It's very hard to have a partner. And on top of that, a partner that's a partner.
Girl, now it has its challenges. Me and him were just talking about that this morning, like, because sometimes it blends into every part of your life. And I had to I know for me, one thing I had to do is put guardrails. Like when I'm walking in the morning on a trail walk, do not call me about what this expense is or this, like, we'll talk about it later. So it has its challenges, but I think we worked through it pretty well.
It sounds like you have your boundaries,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah, that can be difficult as an owner because I don't know if you're like me, but I want things to get taken care of when it's needed.
Yes.
So if that phone is ringing, it can be like a little tempting to answer it.
Right.
And especially coming from your husband. So the fact you have your boundaries, like, look, I need my me time.
Yeah.
Don't call me.
Because if not, what you learn is this thing will drive you crazy. Business really never stops. So if you don't make it stop to a certain degree, I think you will get burned out.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Speaking of the burned out, you guys have managed to open up multiple locations in just 4 or 5 years?
We opened up 4 salons in 5 short years.
Girl.
What did the young people say?
That is what they clock it. How do you still have hair? Like, and you ain't lost all your weight. How did y'all manage to do that and scale, just scale so quickly?
Well, I spoke about our backgrounds as him an electrical engineer, me computer science. So when you think about those two careers and degrees, they are very logic based, very math based. So that has helped us a lot. So we literally engineered the growth, right? Another big factor is I did not take a salary from the salon in like the first 3 years. So that allowed us to continue to reinvest. And if I was needing that money, like COVID actually hit the first year of us opening our first location right when we started making money. And I'm like, really? Because we had to
remember that.
Yes, because we had to make the decision to close down. Like I had to be responsible because as a business owner, especially a woman-based business, my first thing out of everything is I have to keep my people safe, right? So that was a very hard decision to make, especially knowing that the ladies that worked for me needed the income. Like that was one of the hardest decisions I ever had to make, but I knew what the right decision was. But that was something else to just get to profitable, and now you got to close. But the fact, I always say I had a foolproof plan. It was hard as heck working at a very high strong like job that I was working at and building my salon. But to me, that was the way to make sure I still had income coming in for my family, for what I was responsible for, while I built my salon to where it needed to be until I could do it 100%.
Yeah, so COVID was a mess. I don't want to go back to that, even though we're in some craziness right now.
Right.
Girl, them clients still wanted to come.
Oh, yeah, they
y'all
sure
got phone
did.
calls, but they like, can we come through the back door?
Yes.
So
You know,
I
we
ain't
all-
gonna play around. I did go up a couple times.
Yes.
Close all the blinds and the curtains, and I took a couple clients because they
Yeah.
still had Zoom meetings and different things too.
Yeah.
And they just felt so connected, and I ain't gonna play around. I did go up a couple
little
of
bit.
times, but it was really tempting to do it more. And when you are responsible for other people's income, it can just touch your heart.
Oh yeah, that was like rough. Like we have a rule to not do clients from the salons, but I even had to release that rule during that time because people had to eat, right? So we were just really straight up about that. And a couple other things about opening 4 salons in 5 short years. People have to learn to take things past their 2 hands. And that's why a lot of people get stuck. Like if your 2 hands are required to run the front end of your business, you will never be able to scale. Because I don't care if you work from sun up to sundown, it's still 2 hands. So it's always figuring out who the next you will be and training them and then doing that over and over again. So 2 hands become 4, 4 hands become 6, and so on. The other thing is processing tools. You cannot scale anything that you can not define. So if it's not defined, how are you going to be able to duplicate that and repeat that across several locations? And also you want consistency. You don't want someone to come to one location, but because they went to another location, now they're having a totally different experience. So you can only scale what you define. And the third is what I mentioned, being able to reinvest. Like we had it set up where we were able to do a lot of reinvestment in the beginning, which allowed us to scale pretty quickly.
That was good, girl. That was good. Because they don't teach us that in school.
Yeah.
Coming from a cosmetologist,
Right.
that's not something we learn. With you had the business portion
Yes.
and not the talent.
Yes.
Versus most salon owners, they have their talent and not the business.
Yes.
So speaking of that, do you think you had an advantage even though you wasn't a hairstylist?
I will say I think I had a disadvantage from the fact that I have a business that I cannot do the service. So let's say if all of my people walked out on me, I'm not able to do the service. But with that, I would say the best thing I think is being a stylist and having the business experience. I think that that's the best. But if you had to choose between being a stylist or having the business expertise, I would choose business expertise every time because there are core functions to every business that are needed. And if you know how to execute, if you know how to set strategy and then execute on that strategy and also measure, is it performing the way that you expected it to? And if it didn't, what tweaks do you need to make? That's business, right? And if you're able to do that, you're able to make any business successful. Then you just have to couple yourself and partner with people that have the expertise on the talent side. So I find my braiders and I tell them all the time, like, hey, when it comes to hair, I'm following you. And one of my mottos is to be a good leader, you also need to know how to be a good follower. So I tell them and express to them how much I depend on them to like tell me the hair stuff that I don't know. I did get some training and mentorship before I started because clearly I knew that was a disadvantage. So I did do some training with a well-known stylist in Atlanta just to kind of like, so I'm not so green, right? But from there, my business expertise really filled the gaps.
I often talk about certain things when we're hiring. How talent is not the number one to look at. You gotta look at personality.
Oh, yeah.
But when you are running a business, you need that business portion. So if I could go backwards, I would feel like getting that business is some of the most important.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I can't remember who I heard this from, but there's a saying like some big, mogul person made a statement like, I don't have a master's. I don't have my doctorate. I don't even have a degree. I'm not the smartest person in the room.
No.
I just hire them.
Oh, yeah.
And that make a lot of sense.
Oh,
so,
yeah, absolutely.
In that sense, like when it comes to the talent, you can just hire someone that could train all the people for you.
Yeah.
But from what I noticed, all the business salon owners that I know now, they're missing the business part.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, a lot of people are
We're-
missing that for sure.
And if we're behind the check making the money, it's not the easiest to make sure you carve out that time to learn the business. So
Yeah.
hats off to you, girl. You are doing it.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I will say you're doing what most people won't do, and just to jump into a salon. And there's a lot of people I know, like, I would love to get a salon, but I don't do hair. So that was one reason I really wanted to talk to you, because it's super possible.
Yes.
Of course, it comes with challenges,
Yes.
but it is possible.
You just made me think about something too, why maybe that was not as scary to me as to most people, because my background is technology consulting, and in that, depending upon who your client is, you may be working in the transportation field on one client and another in retail. So maybe that gave me that, just being fluid on different industries. I'm not sure, but thank you.
You are welcome. So I have another question for you. I heard you talk about teaching the next person to move up. Which is pretty much just building your leaders.
Right.
How do you know who to bring up? Is there certain things that you look for?
Oh, absolutely. So one thing that I pride myself on is I am very consistent with my team on what I'm going to be a stickler about. And anything else that they bring to me, I try to be flexible. They're like, well, can we do this? I want it to be a two-way street, but they know I do not play about being on time and preparing for your client to come in. They know I do not play about customer service, and just making sure that we are carrying ourselves in making a kid-friendly atmosphere and environment for the children. So they know those are do not play with me about that, right? And they know that, and I'm consistent. So when I look for, and I meet with my management team monthly, and I always ask, who are our rising stars?
Oh, you asked the manager.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. So, in the beginning, I was assessing who are our rising stars, right? 'Cause before I had, build out the management team. But now that I have that built out, I'm constantly asking them that every month, so that if we can give that person a chance to learn how to run the salon or etc., we're slowly but surely kind of lining them up for whenever I have the next opportunity. So a lot of what I have built in my salon, I brought from corporate, from leading teams, from being VP of alliances, from being a senior manager, at one of the big four accounting firms, even though I was on the technology side. So now, with us having 4 locations, I have a district manager that's my right-hand person, and she helps me oversee all of the salons. She's also a salon manager at one of the salons, but she helps me oversee all of the salons. Then at each salon, I have a salon manager, I have an assistant manager, and I have a salon lead, which is basically assistant manager in training. So I always have my succession planning going, because a lot of people, they wait until they need someone to try to build a leader, and at that point, it's too late. You have to build your next leaders along the way, so when you need them, they are ready. So every time I open up a new salon, I literally took people from other salons to go start that salon, which gives me a jump start, which gives me people that already know my culture, already know our processes. So that has been very fluid, and one of the biggest success factors allowing me to scale.
Let's talk about that a little bit more. How did you know what positions to hire? Can you give us an idea of when you started, what position was first, and then how you layered it, the next one, then the next one, then the next one?
Yes, absolutely. I started off with a receptionist, which was my cousin that helped me out greatly in the beginning, because mind you, I was still working at Deloitte. Oh, I didn't want to say
I heard
that name,
you say that earlier.
Yeah,
you didn't say the name, but you still had
I
your
was
job
still
while you were
right.
there.
I was still working at one of the top consulting firms. So I had a receptionist that basically was my eyes and ears, on the ground. And then I also had a salon manager. So those are the 2 roles that I started off with. Over time, I realized, people have to be off for their baby's birthday or their birthday, or they're going home for the holiday. So I realized it really takes more than 1 or 2 people to run these salons and to make sure you have full coverage. So I sat down and I really thought through just roles that we usually had on projects, on technology projects, and how you want some overlap, you want some redundancy, right, in your system always. And so that's when I came up with the 3 different roles. At each salon, I need a salon manager, assistant manager, and a salon lead. And that way, we have coverage. Even if someone wants to take off, we still have 2 other people that can cover, etc. So that's how I came up with it.
Do they ever overlap in roles, like when they're there together at the same time?
Not really, but when you think about the salon manager, even when they're not running the salon, because we have a run salon schedule, meaning the salon manager is the lead person, and they're the person that is accountable for anything that happens in that salon that is against like our guidelines, rules, and my vision for how we need to run our business every day. So they are in technology. I hate to say this, but in technology, we used to call it one throat to choke. Not that I would ever choke one of my managers, but that's the concept though. Like all else, you are accountable for making sure you uphold the standards of the business. So that is like constant. But the run salon schedule, sometimes it may be the salon manager running the salon, sometimes it could be assistant manager, sometimes salon lead. Whoever is on point for running the salon, like let's say Monday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., they're responsible for answering the phone, dealing with any client issues, that type of thing, dealing with any stylist issues. But mind you, if the salon manager happens to also be working on that shift on the floor, because they all, braid, they're all on the floor, if something gets escalated, are they going to step in? Of course they are, right? But they try, because everybody needs their time off, right? Everybody needs to just be able to focus on braiding, and they don't have to do all the other. So I think when someone's running the salon, it's like, look, now you on.
I'm off right now.
Right.
It's your turn.
Exactly. But that's how we do that. And then with each of the roles, they also have additional responsibilities. Like our salon manager does the payroll prep for their salon. The assistant manager does inventory management for that particular salon. And then the salon lead or assistant manager in training, they're responsible for retail, making sure the retail stays nice, letting us know if there's anything that needs to be ordered. So we have kind of like a matrix of who's responsible for what, but that's been a big success factor for me.
I heard you say that you were working in your location. Well, you had your other job while you were building a location, and then it became a point where you left the company and went full throttle with your business.
Yes.
What role were you playing then? Were you in the salon at all?
Yes. In the beginning, I was in the salon a lot more than I am now. And I recommend that to anyone, because there's no way that you're going to be able to define your processes if you're there. There's no way you're going to be able to tweak your processes if you're not there. So I definitely think like the first year and a half of any business, you need to be very hands-on. Now, because I was still working in corporate America, my hands-on usually was like in the evening after work or on the weekends. But you need to be like, you don't know what to solve for if you're not there seeing it in action. So I was there, even though I had my cousin, salon manager, they held it down when I had to work at my day job, but I was there a lot. And then I was still figuring it all out, right? Yeah. So, I had some stylists that weren't dependable, or they were late, or they didn't show up. So now I'm washing hair and I'm like, dear Lord, this is yes. I had like, you have to like when you first start a business, you just have to make it do what it do. So I definitely did that in the beginning, but once I saw my pain points, once I knew what to solve for, that's when I came up with the structure that I told you earlier of having the coverage. That was from people staying out. I have a woman-based business. We have time of the month, we have sick children. Yeah. So those are all of the things that I bumped my head in the beginning that I was like, okay, this is what I need to solve for. And that's how I came up with that structure.
I don't know if you saw me, I just took a deep breath because I'm like, girl, you are saying so much information people need to hear. I'm like, ooh, you hit another point, woo. So, this is some great information. I just heard you talk about the structuring and everything like that. What did you implement so that, when you have a location, a business like Princess Hair Pizzazz, I'm expecting that you want every location to run the same way.
Absolutely.
Price is the same too?
Absolutely.
Every location?
Absolutely.
The vibe when you walk into
Absolutely. I always say I want them to be cousins or siblings. I want each location to have its own character, but if you look at our locations, there are constants, the same color pink. Each one has striped walls. Each one has something that we call a shiro wall, that's pictures of different African American influential women.
Okay.
Because that's very big to me. Even though we do hair services, it's much more than that. We spend a lot of money on our salons, and the reason we do that is because I want our girls, and especially our brown girls, to have somewhere that they can come, be celebrated, and know that they are royalty. So it's very big to me. Hair texture, I don't care if it's from the finest to what we call nappy, and sometimes has a negative connotation, but that's to me the strongest hair in the world. So I don't care from, finest hair to nappy, light to dark, short to long. Every little girl that walks through that door, and I talk to my team about this a lot, we don't say words like good hair. We don't do that because in our community, colorism is still very real, and that stuff stays with girls all throughout their life. And so I want Princess Hair Pizzazz to be a place where all of our girls are celebrated and that they know that they are amazing because God made them like that.
I hear that, girl. I hear that. So you're building confidence as well at the location.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure it reflects, it touches all of your staff members.
Oh,
too,
it does. Like a lot,
customers.
like to work with children, you have to have a passion to work with children. Like sometimes they're braiding and moving and down in the chair with a child is
He might be kicking it.
Yeah, so you have to have a passion to work with children, and I look for that when I hire people because you have to take that time out with them. But it's so. One is so beautiful once they get their hair done and you see them, sit up a little more and get a little sassy.
Smile a little
right,
bit.
the confidence. And a lot of the stylists, that's why they do it, right? They do it for that moment. And then one of the most beautiful things is when you walk in our salons during the holidays and you see where because they call them their girls, their daughters, all that. When you see that they brought their stylists, like their Christmas card or a holiday card, a Valentine's Day card, like it's very beautiful to see. Like they build a rapport with each other.
Man, kids are something else.
They really are.
I couldn't do it though.
Me either. Even though I'm not even sly, I can drop in when I need to and fill in, but yeah, my nerves is not set up for that. But I have amazing people that now when I interact with them, I love interacting with them. But to do it every day, yes, my stylists are amazing and they're very special. And I say that for anyone. I tell my kids' teachers all the time when I volunteer at the school,
amazing,
I was like, y'all are amazing. Y'all are amazing. And thank you for what you do.
Thank you. Because somebody got to do it.
Somebody got to do it, child. And it ain't me.
That's what's up. I feel you. Because even in the salon, when kids come in, sometimes everybody look at each other like, oh, who's taking that one?
Right. But that's why my lane that I carved out is so powerful because so many salons don't even service kids. Like it used to be they can come if they're being serviced, but a lot of salons, they do not service kids at all. So
they don't even want them sitting in the salon sometimes.
Yes.
Like, dang, okay, what if mama, daddy dropped them off and it's mama's turn?
Yes.
Some salons like, no.
Right.
We have a no kid policy.
Yes.
It is what it is.
Hey guys, it is me again. And real quick, if you are serious about opening your salon, you should know that now is the best time to open a salon. I've opened up a couple exclusive spots for one-on-one calls if you're ready to start now. To book a call, you could just head to the description, or if you're following me on Instagram at I am Callie Gipson, Callie with a K, and Gipson with a G and P like Peter. I love you guys. And if you're not following me, what's stopping you? The link to book a call with me is also in my Instagram bio as well, okay? So go ahead and book now, and let's start that dream salon, and I'll talk to you soon.
So yeah, you are something special.
Thank you.
And I know like your business is going to keep growing.
Yes.
So what did you do we just talked about keeping the consistency in all your locations. Mm-hmm. What did you do or implement any kind of systems to keep the flow the same?
Yes, absolutely. But I'm not system heavy, really. Of course, I have a point of sale system. I do think a lot of people, that seems so common. to us, but I think a lot of people miss out on that, right? Like you should not have a business and not have a point of sale system that's keeping up with your transactions and your sales. And we need it too to know that we're a commission-based salon. So that's how we know what the commission payout is, what are the tip payouts, etc. So definitely our point of sale system, and we use the same one across the board. You ask earlier about prices. We absolutely have the same prices, so that because a lot of times our clients, they have their number one salon that they go to or that's closer to their house, but they'll go to any of our salons if it's like they can't get into their main one. So we have to be consistent on how we serve our clients. So I would say our point of sale system, we have cleaners that clean all of our salons, and that's now it's actually, we had two people at first, but now that's the same person. So that's consistent as far as the expectations, what they do on a daily basis versus like our deeper cleans that we have quarterly. And then I have a good amount of people that's been with me for a long time, like
that
years, which is unheard of in the game of beauty, because I treat my ladies with respect and integrity, like I think any owner should do. I feel like they feel appreciated. I feel like we definitely make sure that we honor whatever their schedule is, because a lot of them are mothers. So I know some of my competitors, it's like, you got to stay here till you're done. Of course, they got to finish their styles, but we have schedules and we stick to those schedules. And one time when I did a survey, that was one of the top things that they appreciated, that they had a set schedule that they knew they could depend upon and know that they can get out at a certain time, to go do whatever they need to do in their personal life. But the other thing is, because I've had so many people with me for multiple years, and because I have that management team in place, like I said, I always took people from one salon to another. So I always had people in each salon that's been rocking with me for a while.
Yeah.
So that is how I was able to have the consistency, even though of course I had new people at each salon. They were right beside someone that knows, we call it the PHP way, the Princess Hair Pizzazz way. They know what I don't play about, and they know where I'll kind of like bend a little bit, or where the salon managers can kind of make decisions for their particular salon or team. But they know some things are like, this is the bar.
You got your non-negotiables.
And we not following under it. I was so proud one day, not that I was glad that it happened, but one of my stylists had a bad day and did too much on the salon floor. I think it was like right before back to school, so I didn't have my district manager say something right then and there. But I think that next week, after we were kind of through our busy season, she got a phone call from our district manager, and they know when they get a phone call from our district manager out the blue, it's like a for real conversation. But she immediately was like, I knew I wasn't gonna get away with that.
Yeah,
and I was,
so she kind of knew.
And I was actually proud of that, because that made me know that I have set a standard that is very clear, and they know that I will show flexibility where I can, but I'm not going to show flexibility when it comes to our standards and how we deliver to our clients. So that made me, I was sorry of that situation, but it made me proud that she knew that was not going to go unchecked.
I heard your story. Well, you were good, because a whole week later, whew, that's hard for me. I probably would have wanted to say something the next day.
Oh, you have to have him. Yeah, but when I tell you this thing, corporate America already taught me how to have emotional intelligence. And it's so funny, because sometimes when I send messages, my managers are like, how do you get with somebody so professionally? And it's because in corporate America, I had to do a lot of delete. Because I'm like, that man gonna go on being a millionaire and my family gonna be struggling. So I learned a lot of emotional intelligence in corporate America. And I learned even more, in my business. But that is huge, because if I lose my cool, or if I'm not emotionally intelligent, how can I hold them to that standard? So
that's true. With so many women in one building, do emotions rise often? Do you have to be like walking on your tiptoes before you say something?
No, I am proud, even though it has its disadvantages, but I think it's more advantages. I'm just a warm and fuzzy person, and that's just who I am. And sometimes it's not good, but I set a family tone at my salon. And I prayed in the beginning that sisterhood bonds would be formed. And they have. Like when I say someone's car may be, these are real stories. Someone's car may be broken down and one of their fellow stylists like comes and picks them up to get their child to school, right? Them helping each other with their children, and it runs the gamut. So those sisterhoods were formed, and because I have a lot of people that's been with me for a good amount of time, we always kind of have that base in each salon, right? Even though we have new people coming through, and some of them, it doesn't jive and it doesn't work. And they also get a call from my district manager on Sunday after work.
Isn't that good that it's not you making them phone calls?
Yes, exactly. I don't have to make those phone calls. I only deal with the exceptions. So do we have drama? Sometimes, of course we do. But I think it's a lot less than what people would think with women. And I kind of don't subscribe to women can't get along. I think the right group of women can get along. But yes, do some things come up with women? Of course it does. But I think we have very little of that compared to what other salons or other group of women have, because I don't believe, another thing when I said they know my non-negotiables, I don't do sister girls. I don't do you walking in, not talking to anybody, or you disrespecting your managers. Like, I don't play that. Like, it is not going to be the Wild Wild West. We are going to have protocol and we are going to do things decent and in order.
I love it. I love it. So you have multiple locations.
I do.
Can you tell us the cities again? Well, let me see if I can get it right.
Okay, let's see. Quiz.
Decatur.
Well, I'll give Decatur to you. It's really Latonia, Stonecrest, but it's East Side, and that's where I grew up.
East Side.
East Side.
Yeah, you are from the A.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, they consider that not the A.
Oh, because it's Metro Atlanta. It's Metro Atlanta.
All right,
So,
let us know the cities. I don't want to mess up anything.
Cascade, that's our flagship location. And then comes Cumberland in the Cumberland Mall area. And then Stonecrest, which is on the east side. So Stonecrest / Latonia. And then a little over a year ago, Stockbridge on the south side.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
And you picked some nice locations. How did you come about the location? Did they just fall in your lap, or you were strategic?
No, very methodical on it. Now, one some way, and I'll share that, but Leighton got the census data. I don't know which
Is that
year.
your husband?
Yeah, that's my husband. Leighton got the census data and did analysis on the biggest area, or the areas with the biggest concentration of African American, because we mostly do braids, African Americans that basically can afford our services, right? They had disposable income. And based upon that, we actually have a map that has 10 locations in Metro Atlanta where we want to open locations. And the goal is for anyone in Metro Atlanta to be able to get to one of our locations within 20 minutes. So that is the goal. As far as the order of opening locations, of course, we were never going to open two that were slightly next to each other, because we're not really opening up a new market. We won't do those. Like, we plan to have not majority, but we plan to have multiple locations on the south side. But like, I would never open two south sides locations back to back, because I didn't open up a new market. Like, they already kind of know about us from seeing us down there. Yeah. So we were very strategic to make sure it's kind of like north, south, east, west type of vibe, right? And then we can start doing, filling in the gaps. But that's our thinking behind it and how we rolled it out. Now, Cumberland kind of eased in there because my husband found it and it was already a salon.
Ooh, those are the best.
Yes.
Those are the best.
And if you want to save money on plumbing, like plumbing and electrical, you already know is biggest. So when you can save that, so that's a big tip to someone that's trying to open a salon but has limited funds. Try to find a salon, something that's available but used to be a salon, already has the plumbing, already has the lighting. So that's how we did Cumberland. And that's also how we were able to open up Cumberland, and then we opened up Stonecrest. It was not even a full year. And that's the reason why, because our budget that we usually spend, we were able to save so much money on Cumberland because so many things were already in place. And it was already a really nice salon.
That makes sense. Speaking on making sure that you're not like targeting the same customers. That happened to me. All my locations were in Gwinnett until I opened this one.
Wow.
And that's why I opened it, because I was in Sewanee.
Right.
I don't know how much you know about Gwinnett, but I was in Sewanee, Duluth, and Lawrenceville.
Oh, okay.
So all of my locations were within 15 minutes of each other.
Yeah, you didn't open up new markets.
No.
You didn't
So
open
when
up
my
new
lease was
markets.
up at 1, I said, this doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Even though like in Gwinnett, the further north you go is less of us and less places for us to
Right,
go to
right,
get
for
our
sure.
hair.
Right.
I was trying to bang on that market.
Right.
But sometimes when you're the first out that way,
Yeah.
it takes a little longer to build unless your marketing is on point. So when that lease was up, I said, let me go to Atlanta. Like, why am I not on the south
Right.
side?
Don't forget about us.
Girl, I know. I was so stuck in Gwinnett. It was the best thing I ever did. Coming down this way, it opened up the market.
Yeah.
And even though some do come here that may go to Gwinnett because maybe they work down here
Right.
or just relocated,
Right.
it helped, but it also just made business so much better because it's a brand new market.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what were some of the challenges that you've come across with a kids salon?
Yeah.
Any?
Well, one, I will say having a brand that is kid related, I definitely have to be very conscious of how I represent myself and how my stylists represent themselves. And that's something I always talk to them about. Like, you probably need an Instagram that is your braiding page and your personal, because we can't do the all the extra and your clients are, following your page. So I think that is a big thing. It just kind of adds another layer of complexity. Because the other thing too, if I didn't have a kids brand, I would want a reality show. Because when I say we are a whole show, but I don't know if I would want to air like some of the background stuff because we're kid based. But if we weren't, I would be pitching a show. So I would say that would be one thing. The people part is actually the hardest part to me. Because I am a project manager, I can engineer the heck out of a process, right? Like I have it down to toilet paper and all that gets delivered on schedule. And if y'all don't know about that, Amazon Subscribe, where you can deliver stuff on schedule, that is a big,
helps, right?
That is a big, lifesaver of not just always having to do those kind of things. So I can engineer the heck out of a process, and I keep tweaking until I get it to where it needs to be. The people part I would say is the hardest, because I have a big heart. I really feel like I've gone above and beyond, a salon owner or a boss, because I really try to be in relationship with the people that work for me, because they are the ones that's executing my vision every day. Yeah. Some people appreciate that, and those are the people that are still with me, and some people have burned me on that. And it's been very hurtful, but that's been the hardest. The people part is the hardest part, for sure.
Yeah, they will look at you and just envy you without even really knowing what's going on.
Or knowing what it really is like to own us, to own a salon. So yeah, the people part and people that I really looked at as family and that burned me, that's hurtful. But I'm trying to get better and better about
separating emotions.
Yeah, my husband always tells me, if you expect people to be as thoughtful as you are, you're going to be disappointed all of the time. So I'm trying to get used to that. And that's why when I find people that actually do care about how they treat people and do think about who this person has been to me. So even if I am going to leave, I'm going to do it in a certain way. That's I don't mind anyone leaving, but do it in the right way, right?
This world is so small. You never know. You might have to circle back.
Right. And a lot of them have circled back. And guess what? The people that respected me and for what I had been to them, they're always welcome back.
Yeah.
But the people that just did me any kind of way, my team knows it. It's a forever no for me. So that's a really hard thing. People don't think about all of the investment and sacrifice you make for a business, and they just look at for themselves. And I tell them I never play with your money. whatever I say I'm going to pay you, and when I'm going to pay you, I have always done that, never miss a beat. So just like you don't want me to take money out your kid's mouth, don't take money out of my children's mouth. So it can be hard, it can be hurtful, but I'm learning to be tougher about
You
it
gotta be tough.
and just know, like, okay, as Maya Angelou says, they show me who they are, believe them the first time, instead of I want to give people 2, 3, and 4 times. Yeah.
Another chance. And honestly, sometimes that I noticed that I kept giving people chances.
Yeah.
I was in that desperation
Yeah.
stage.
Right.
But now I recognize it, and I know, like, don't just hire off of desperation.
Right.
Especially at the beginning, before
Yeah.
you really know who's the right ones and who's
Oh,
the
yeah,
wrong ones, you know.
absolutely.
You're just hiring anybody
Exactly.
sometimes. So speaking on the hiring and just being a businesswoman and owning a brick and mortar, is there any advice that you can, or what would you say is the number one mistake people make when they want a brick and mortar?
Yes, brick and mortar is hard. Like, it's hard, and it's it's not to be played with. So it's several mistakes people made, but if I had to say one, it would be falling in love with the ideal of having a location versus really being real about the numbers that come with the location. So you should always prove out your business model and your business ideal before you go sign a lease that has what you have to pay every month. It has utilities. It has to be furnished and decoration. Like, you need to prove out your model. When I see places open up and close down in 5 months, I'm so saddened by that, but I know 2 things. You didn't have a business plan. You had no reserves, because you may not even make money in the first year of a business. So it's not thought out. Like, people jump out there and sign a lease and then try to prove the business model. That's backwards. Prove the business model first before you sign a lease. And I would even say, if you have a business that you can be in part of someone else's building, do that. After you've proven your model, do that to ease into brick and mortar before you just go sign up on your own, because it's a lot that comes with it.
Speaking of how much comes with it, have you ever, be honest, have you ever wanted to give up?
Absolutely. Several times. Every day. No, I just like, not every day, but yes, I've absolutely wanted to give up several times. And it's been a time very recently, at the end of last year. And I'm going to have to find a way to really tell that story in detail. But yes, it's been very recently. And I remember having the thought of, God, what do you know how the saying, pull yourself up from the bootstraps? I'm like, God, what do you do when you don't even have bootstraps anymore? Like, I was tired. I was tired, but I'm a praying woman, and I prayed to God, like, renew my spirit. And this wasn't just one prayer. This was like months and months. Renew my spirit, Lord God. Just re-energize me, right? Because the one thing I knew is I have brought this thing too far to give up now, right? My babies are dependent on me. My community is dependent on me, and my stylists are dependent on me. Upon me, because as I go up, I have moved them up as I go up, and I want to continue to do that. A lot of ladies, like my main ladies, especially in management, have moved out of poverty into middle class, being a middle class citizen. And I'm very proud of that. So yes, I have wanted to give up several times, but I will absolutely not give up, because I'm determined to leave something for my girls, for them to be on a platform where they can see further and go get there quicker. So that is like my life goal, to do that for them, and everything I can do to make my community better and to help women that look like me is very important. And we're in recession proof with Marcus Barney, and it's so many good things that have come from that with me. But if I had to choose one, it has re-energized me, being like, I feel like I have found my tribe, right? Like, Coach does not allow us to have any excuses. BTA. If you don't, right. Like, no excuses. And then to be around people, like, even you asking me to do this, I'm like thinking, maybe next week, child, we just got off of this summit this weekend.
Days, let's go.
And I was like, no, you know what? I have Sunday to rest. Do it so that you can be on to the next thing that you're doing to expand your brand. So it has really energized me. I feel like I have found my tribe, and it really was an answer to my prayer.
That's so awesome. That's so awesome. With business, there's the bad. You know, we just got to finish talking about times when you were ready to give it up.
Yeah.
But then you get this sense of just like, and just satisfaction. What would you say is the most rewarding thing that you've gotten from being a salon owner?
Oh, goodness. I think the most rewarding thing is seeing the little girls, and it's what I'm building for my daughters. But I would say the most rewarding thing just day to day, like seeing now, is how I've been able to pour into my stylists. I always tell them, like, God, they're artists. Like, God put this beautiful gift in their hands. But a lot of them have gone through some really, really hard stuff. They've gone through some really hard stuff. And a lot of them don't have, a woman that's older than them that took time to say, no, this is how you move as a lady. Yeah. No, it's important to have emotional intelligence, because now you just messed up your money because you let emotions rule you, right? A lot of these things, a lot of them have never had, or finances. This is what you made in this year. Why don't you have something to show for that? A lot of them haven't had anyone to take the time to talk to them about those things. So that has been the most rewarding. Some people, they really don't want it, but the ones that really want to get better, right? They really want to learn. They really want to take it to the next level. If I think about Dee, my district manager, she's 20-something years old, and I tell her all the time, running a chain of salons. How huge that is. You know what you'll be doing at 30 and 40. And when I sit down, she's taking over. So I am very proud of the economic gain. It will actually make me a little emotional. I'm very proud of the economic gain that I have influenced for women that look like me.
Mm-hmm. That's touching right there.
Yeah, they may have come from different zip codes than I did, but they're brilliant. When I say my managers run the heck out of processes, brilliant. But a lot of times people look them over because they didn't get to go to Spelman like me, right? Or maybe they didn't grow up with their mom and dad in a household like me. But it doesn't make them any less worthy. It doesn't make them any less capable. So I'm very proud of reaching back.
Whether you know it or not, but the woman that you are when you step in those buildings, when you answer the phone, when they get paid, like, you are changing lives.
Thank you.
And they're going to remember you. You're going to go down in the books, even in their history, in their mind. Like, you know what? That salon that I worked at back whenever it was, look where I'm at now. And it's all because of Wanda. So
I appreciate that. That means a lot to me. Thank you.
This is amazing. My last question for you, because I know you have a lot to do today. What's next?
What's next? Whew, child, what's next? Definitely growth. We are not going to finish growing, but
because you already at the $2 million level, you know.
But look, that's a whole nother conversation.
It sure is. I was thinking like,
I saw your post about I only eat when I get dizzy. I was like, child, because people hear the and 1 million. Hello,
thank you.
We're both $1 million earner awards in our coaching group. But people hear that, and is it great? Is it? I'm on the right trajectory. Is it a sign of success? Absolutely. But does that mean I have $2 million in the bank that I could just be like, we doing this? No, it doesn't. Like, people don't realize a healthy business gets 20% profit. So that means for every million, that's 200,000. Like on Shark Tank, when people are like, oh, we made 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, and they ask, did you make any money? People would think like, how could you not make any money? It's called light bill. It's called hair products. It's called commission-based, so 50% is already out the window. It's called payroll. So I'm very proud of what we've accomplished, but we have more to go to get to where we want to be. So growth is definitely on the radar for us. I definitely want to do things that extend my brand in other areas. But the main thing is growth. I mean, we still want to have 10 salons in Metro Atlanta. We are assessing, is that owned by us? Is that franchise? Is that partnership? I am assessing that, because at first I wanted to do 10 and then start a franchise model to take the brand, to other cities. So I'm assessing that probably does not need to be as linear as I was thinking, but more of a parallel process to allow continued growth, because we so far have self-funded, and that is, it's hard to do when you self-fund it. So growth, definitely. I don't know how yet, but God will make a way.
Yes. And you are doing an amazing job. How
Thank
can
you.
they find you, follow you?
Yes, Princess Hair Pizzazz on all platforms. Pizzazz is 2 Z's in both places, Pizzazz. But our website, Princess Hair Pizzazz, Instagram, Facebook, all platforms, Princess Hair Pizzazz.
You guys follow. And you never know, she'll be in your city soon.
Very soon. Oh, and my personal is Mrs. Juanda Roberts. And I spell my name with a J, like Juan and Juanita. So Mrs. Juanda Roberts on Instagram.
I appreciate you talking.
Thank you for having me,
Pleasure.
friend.
Yes, girl, yes. And let's do this again.
Oh, yeah. And more to come with us,
More
child.
to
We just
come.
figured it out. More to come.
I'll talk to y'all soon. We love you, girl.
Love you, guys.
Beauty power, let it show. Welcome to the Cali Gipson Show.